Hey, shalom, shalom. Baba Kushai, give us a moment to check the sound, video is all good.
Got sound?
Yes. All
right, shalom, shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elders, double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. And to the scattered elect, you're looking on the screen, that are scattered abroad among the heathen, that look like the heathen, and those few off that are listening and learning. And I put up a meme earlier saying that the seed of his seed is still his seed. All right, and so we're talking about the seed of Israel here. It's all about Israel. It's always been about Israel. And Israel is scattered, and you can clearly see that that is a father, that is his son, and that is his son's son. And that's still the seed of the father. Point blank, period. All right? That little pale, blonde-haired, curly boy is carrying the seed of that dark-skinned, white-haired man. He is that seed. All right? So, and Israel got scattered among all people, and they're not always going to look like granddad. Okay? Point blank, period. And you got a lot of people that are in their ignorance and in their feelings seem to can't, have a problem embracing this factual truth. Can we go to the book of Acts, the second chapter, right around the fifth verse, when the Jews were coming back from all the different places?
Oh, that was 2.
Acts 2.
Right now?
Yes, sir, brother.
It's Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speaking his own language.
So he's going to go off and name all the places where these Jews, from devout men, meaning they were Israelites, all right? That term Jew was generic. I really wish it wasn't even there, because but that's a stumbling block to those that the Lord don't want. But he's going to go on to name all the places in the known world where they came from. All right, and this subject has really been hot with me these last like 4 or 5 days or so. It's hard for me to even shift off of it.
It's the spirit.
Well, go ahead, brother.
And not only do these people come from these lands, they call them these Israelites. They call them Elamites, as opposed to a Jew from Elam. They call them Elamites, but they're Israelites. Clearly, they said Jews.
You just dwelt in that land.
That's it.
And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, "Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia."
Now stop right there. Uriah, could you pull up a map of Asia? Because you got to understand. Now he named a lot of places. Go back and read them again, brother.
Yep. And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites.
And stop right there. You look, a big portion of the Elamites live in Asia. All the people in India are those are basically Elamites outside of the Israelites that were among them. Right? India is a pretty big country, but it's attached to Asia. So you're talking about Russia, Japan, China. That is a huge portion of the world, man.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
go ahead, bro.
When you go into the Medo-Persian Empire, that was Elam ruling. All right, so that's Iran. And then when you look at Esther, the first chapter, it goes to all the provinces that he ruled over. It said 120, I believe it's 120 something provinces, and it goes far east, man. All right, super far east. All right, from Iran east, that's Elam. Edom is huge.
Can we make that map a little bit bigger?
That's what I was trying to do right now.
'Cause that's a perfect map. And even though, you know, it's not really clear, but you get the gist of it. That whole, all that, all right, that's basically everything that's east of Europe or east of Mesopotamia.
Well, this would
what people call ignorantly call the Middle East.
this right here would be where the cursor is the Middle East.
Okay, so right, so where the cursor is, you know, that's right around, you know, where they were gathering to. Israel's near there. So everything east of there, point the arrow all the way to the ocean, all the way to the Pacific. That would be Asia. That's all of Asia. So today you got those are the Edomites, you got Ammon, Moab, Elam, all Ishmael, all these people are there, and so the Israelites were coming from all those places back to Israel. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And look, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers of
Let's put it back
Mesopotamia
on the men.
and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia. In fact, I plainly said Asia. So that whole, like the other Malcolm was explaining, that whole big ass continent of Asia. Because you know, Americans think of Asia, they think Chinese and Japanese. No, Asia's an entire continent with islands included. Pergia and Pamphylia and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. So that's south of Asia, which is northern Africa, and it say even Rome, which is far west.
Mm-hmm.
Rome is in Italy.
That's right.
Israel was scattered even now. Greeks and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues, the wonderful works of the Most High.
There it is, man. Now, if you would, brother, jump down to verse 21, 22.
21.
All right, because when the Lord, when it says all who believe, the ignorance of Esau, Edom, and the world, and the ignorance of Christianism, they want to make this book a universal book, and it is not. This is not a universal salvation, man. This thing is a thing of ours.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, at this point, it's not even for the rest of Israel. This is for the elect only, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Acts 2 and 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Right, because in the scripture, like that's also in Rome. I mean, in Romans. All right, but it's still talking about the Israelites.
Oh, yeah, it's quoted your will.
All right, come. In the very next line, go ahead, read, brother.
Ye men of Israel, hear these words.
So that map that you were just looking at, all those Israelites, that came from the kingdom of Judah, all right, because that's who they ignorantly refer to as the Jews, and the kingdom of Judah made up three nations of Israel, three tribes, and plus the scattered of the northern kingdom that was still among them. All right, so there's even a scattering among the scattering, man.
That's it.
All right, so this was all about Israel. So go ahead.
This First Peter 1:1. It says, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus. So strangers in the Gentile state of mind, once before. It says, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahushua, of the Most High power, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua, grace be unto you and peace be multiplied. We already know the elect is going to be the Israelites.
That's right here.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
It's Isaiah 45:4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect.
His what?
Israel mine elect.
Man.
I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
That's only talking about the Israelites. Whoever speaks about the salvation of the Gentiles, those were the Israelites.
That's it. That's
All right,
it.
this is
You gotta make a point off of what you just said.
okay.
If you go into what was it, 2 Corinthians, I believe, he said that you know that ye were Gentiles. Into See, but that's the proof that we the men of the Lord. How you didn't tell me that? We just press start. We didn't have nothing described. How the hell I'm going to pick something up and you got it in your spirit, right? These other camps, these other so-called peoples out there, they don't do that. All right,
No,
that's the
you watch
evidence
their
that we're the people of
videos.
the Lord, man.
Yeah, you don't hear that. You don't see that happening because those guys are doing it for filthy lucre's sake,
That's right.
or for contention, or for strife, or whatever.
That's it.
They're not doing it,
Right, because if the Lord is dealing with one of my favorite scriptures in the
because
New
the
Testament,
way you dress is,
I know
depends on the type of spirit you have.
and that's so stupid. That's
It was the most ignorant thing to say,
yes.
but I'm not shocked that it came from
who it came from,
Nate
right?
Satan,
Yeah, exactly.
because he is not a bishop, he is not a man of the Lord.
Tell you it said the two witnesses, which is the northern and southern kingdom, is gonna be clothed in sackcloth.
Sackcloth.
That's
So
it.
it was that was this morning, man.
So they got these glorious purple and gold with the ornament. I mean, and neat designs and all kind of shit looking all fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Then you got ISBK looking like a straight punk band with the goddamn it studs and shit.
No,
And spikes.
you mean the Legion of Doom,
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, Israelites.
Yeah, so but then they will call the men of the Lord Bumalites.
And,
I remember one of my favorite garments that I ever seen a man of the Lord wear, and you older brothers will really, I believe that you will understand, is Apostle Gabar's garment. They half the time used to be,
It's not even
they
on
used
the
to be like this. You remember how
Yeah.
the time?
and that's why they would talk crap.
Yeah, but
And he would wear it on purpose.
because that was and here's his
But it
garment.
says sackcloth, and they rent their garments.
Yes.
Man, and hey,
That's how it's supposed. You see, man.
let's
Most
get
I
back to
gonna
the
show
point,
it.
brother.
Most I
That's
gonna
okay.
show it, man.
Go ahead, brother. Finish.
Garment's
Papa
done more
Joe.
videos than these niggas live.
That garment famous in them.
That should be in one of the museums for perpetuity.
It's gonna be. Those were little throwbacks.
This 1 Corinthians 12:1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So Israel was once in the Gentile state of mind, man. And then, it came back to the heritage, man. They woke back up, man. He's following the Greek customs, Roman customs, all of it.
I got two quick read for the elder. One he calls for, and it's Isaiah 11. It's Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass that in that day that the Lord shall send his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So even when you go into that Jeremiah 16, that they're going to be recovered.
See, look, come on, man.
Come on. See, that's how we know the spirit, bro.
It's Jeremiah 16 and 4. I'm gonna get to the point. It's Jeremiah 16 and 15. But the Lord Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land. No, let's start at 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said that the Lord Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he hath drove them, and I will bring them again unto their land that I gave unto their fathers. So from all the lands, wherever we were scattered, not just from over here, which is the north, over here in America, but from everywhere we were scattered from the four corners of the earth.
Right, because in Deuteronomy, the curse was that we were going to be sent out on the four corners to serve out slavery, which even Paul, when he had mentioned that he also was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, but in Acts 26, when he was making his case with Agrippa, this is Acts 26 and 4, I'm going to read a couple of verses. It says, my manner of life from my youth, which was at the first among my own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Jews, which knew me from the beginning, if they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion I lived a Pharisee, and now I stand and am judged for the hope, the promise made of Yahweh unto our fathers, unto which promise our 12 tribes instantly.
And our is an adjective. It's the pronoun. All right, you got pronouns and adjectives, man, which demonstrate ownership.
That's it.
All right,
Oh, it's
possession and ownership
pertaining
to.
to.
All right, so continue.
If we say our, it's pertaining to ours.
Right.
It can't be somebody else who's not a part of the our.
I was using the example of that. What was that thing I was talking about? That movie I was talking about yesterday. Yeah.
You saw this,
Harry Potter.
was
All
that
right,
the new one?
and it's just Harry Potter in general. Because you have to understand, it's amazing to me how these so-called educated people in America, with all these degrees, can read the Bible and can't differentiate the thought between, you know, the nations and the people and the R and the R's. They just get lost in that. But they can pick up a Harry Potter video, a book, and read it. And when it talks about R's and us, and you can identify if you can make the distinctions between Gryffindor. You can make the distinctions between Ravensclaw and Slytherin. All right. But when it comes to the Bible,
How you know about
just
Slytherin?
you just grouping everyone together. All right. Yeah, because I was using the Israel as an example as Gryffindor. So if there comes out a movie or a book that's specifically about Gryffindor, even though it was a part of the Harry Potter universe or world, this story is about Gryffindor. You can't include the other houses. You can't include Slytherin and Ravensclaw and whatever. You can't include them in the story of Gryffindor, except for when they meet that house. But outside of that, this is about Gryffindor, and we're just that Israel. And I was using that for simplicity, right, for people who are watching, especially new people. Right. All right.
And that's how you're supposed to teach, because guess what? Esau and the heathens, the 2/3, they'll add all the other shit to convolute it to make it messy. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai it's about simplicity, man. We ain't about convoluting shit. We're gonna keep it straight and to the point.
It says, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving Yahweh day and night, hope to come, for which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I'm accused of the Jews.
Did it say our 12 tribes and the other nations?
No, it's our 12 tribes.
It didn't say nothing about Moab or
Unto which,
Ammon,
nope, our tribes.
Esau.
Our tribes. That's why Paul even reiterated how he said, has the Lord cast away his people?
Right.
Yeah, Yahweh forbid.
He what?
Yahweh forbid.
If the Most High forbid, it's absolutely motherfucking no.
To the no.
Right, that's why even in Ezra's, it's also in Isaiah, it talks about the other nation, but like the other said, when it talks about the promises, when it talks about the first and seventh covenant, there's not even an inkling that it's anybody else. The New Testament was just to clarify those Gentiles that were once Israelites who were converted at a point of a sword, like it says in Maccabees.
They were forced.
Right, and guess what? Some were willing to flip, that's fine. Those are the bad hombres of our nation. But other people did it. They had to do it to keep living.
Just to save their life, because it was like and some of them said, fuck it, kill me. All right, some of them chose death over being forced to convert to the Grecian way, man. All right.
You cannot force, brother. You cannot force.
I got scripture for you.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Revelations 21. But this clearly tell you when New Jerusalem comes, who it belongs to. All right, this at the end. All right, I'm gonna start at 2 and I'm gonna jump down. This is Revelations 21. I'm gonna start at. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So John, the Revelator, seen New Jerusalem, which is the people, all right, coming down, out of heaven, all right, after the beam up, all right. So when you go down to verse 21, all right, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 18. I'm gonna just hit the point 21. All right, Revelation 21, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls, and every several gates was one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold. Forgive me. 12 lines. Okay, Salakia 12. All right, this verse Revelation 21:12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. All right, so the gates of Israel, for
Gates
every,
of heaven.
right, the gates of heaven, all right, the New Jerusalem, all right, the city, every nation had a gate with their name on it. So the Benjaminites lived, it was a gate to get in, and Benjamin had their name on their gates. Levi had their name on their gates. Judah, Issachar, and so forth. You don't see, it didn't say the name
And
of the
heathen.
Edomites or the fucking Hamites, because they're not included in that. All right, you know, hey, you can't make this up. You know, like it. Right, it's a VIP party.
Right.
Hey, you other nations didn't include us. We're not included in the Constitution. We're not included in the BRIC nations.
Nah, fuck that.
We're
Where
not
were they for the
included.
chastisement? Where were
Right,
they for
right.
the chastisement of our nation? Let me go and get this.
Matter of fact, often they were the ones, giving the chastisement.
So then how can they be part of the blessing? How can they be saved from themselves? But this is second Ezra.
Well, the scripture says that we don't have. Oh, Salaki, brother.
No, go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead.
No, I said the beautiful thing is they could be delusional all day. It's not going to discourage the Lord. It's not going to make him change his mind.
That's
right. Right. That's why I say, what if some did not believe? You know what I'm saying? So what? We telling you. You know, whether you hear or whether you forbear.
Hey,
But what?
go ahead, brother.
But I was about to say in second Esdras, it talks about how we don't have an inheritance with this world.
That's right.
You see, our inheritance is to come.
The world
And
to come.
here it is. We are the special chosen children and don't have an inheritance with this world, but we have an inheritance to come. So these heathen nations who not the special people who get an inheritance in this world, they also going to get an inheritance in ours.
Right, because all the policy that's written, they give the loans, they give the business loans, the home loans, the grants.
Yep.
All that's going to the heathen.
Yep.
All right. We're not getting that.
Right.
And if they do give it to Israelite, they're gonna give it to an Israelite woman, so that she can rule over and create that imbalance.
But just like you said, they give. See, in the kingdom, we the ones that's giving. We're doing the giving, doing the loaning,
That's
doing
right.
the
And we're gonna be the powder the pimps too. All right. The Lord about the powder the pimp your ass with fire. He gonna sprinkle some fire on his hand and slap the fire out your ass.
Come here, bitch.
right, and the Israelites are gonna be the power structure, man.
That's right.
And heathen nations, they're gonna have no part of that power structure, all right, and being the rulers, all right. That's gonna be the Israelites, all right. Matter of fact,
Like I said it in Ezra, we said they had no part in our kingdom, but this is second Ezra 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
For whose sakes? The chosen sakes. What about the other people, the heathen nations?
As for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said they are nothing.
There's something
They are nothing.
going to be elevated.
They are nothing.
They matter.
They are nothing.
All lives matter.
They are nothing.
Ooh.
But be like unto spittle, and has likened the
Damn.
abundance
Wait a
of
minute,
them.
unto what? You said spittle?
Spittle.
What's the root word of spittle?
Spit. So how many billions of people on the earth?
Billions.
So the rest of those billions of people that are not us, they're like spit.
That's what the Bible says.
Over six, at least bare minimum 5-6 billion of them.
To their
Yes.
abundance.
The abundance is like unto spit. And yet to this day, I've seen superstars all over the world. I used to live in LA, and I've seen they got walks and on the boulevard where they get their shoe prints, their hand prints, and they
Bubble
gum, that bro.
They chew
the gum that they spit out. They got it in a collection or a piece of hair, anything. But I've never seen somebody catch Michael Jackson spit. God damn it, Bill Cosby spit. Anybody spit on the ground, put it in a bottle, and say this is their spit, and they sell for some money. They don't give a fuck about spit. And the Lord said all these nations is likened unto spit.
That's a great breakdown and analogy. Beautiful. Bring them out. And if you would, Capo, that John 11:28, I believe you brought out.
Yes, sir.
And then let's go back to that Acts, and then also at Acts 9:29.
So just to back Yaki up what he said, how we gonna lend to them. It's Deuteronomy 15, and I'm gonna start at 5. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day, for Yahweh thy power bless thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. All right,
so damn, so if you really break that down, how they gonna share if they being reigned over?
Yeah, that's it. And then we gonna be giving out the money, just like how they giving out the money right now. We gonna be giving out the money, but we ain't gonna. Our nation, how they Israelite got to go to a loan, got to go to a bank and apply for a loan. An Israelite already gonna be rich. He ain't gonna need to fucking borrow no fucking money. But all you other nations, hey, what y'all did to us, we gonna put y'all through that same bullshit that y'all put us through. But y'all gonna go through it times 2. So when you want to motherfucking get a piece of land, all right, you want a loan, all right, I'm gonna. Give me 20 daughters, motherfucking. They all gotta be a certain motherfucking way, a certain this, a certain that,
or whatever it is.
Until right, yeah.
So whatever it is, until
whatever the law
until y'all slavery is up and y'all get to go to your own lands, that's what it's gonna be, man.
Right. That's
all right, because all you nations that benefited of our suffering and our oppression, our suppression, and most of you nations know who we are. It's funny how many videos, it's thousands of videos with the heathen admitting that they know who we are. Yeah. But you know what, where was that? Where was this talk at 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago? All right, 200 years ago. Where was that talk at? Hey, why are you doing that to the Lord's people? You know you're gonna have to pay for that shit one day. It's gonna come back on us. Let them go.
They don't care. They don't
care the Lord. No, because they were living good as a result of us being oppressed.
That's it.
So they gotta pay for it.
That's it.
Because they're always screaming, well, we didn't do that to you, the white people did that to you. Yeah, but you didn't speak up, and then you made deals and business with them.
That makes you complicit.
That made you complicit. Hey, you know what? It's gonna be a heavily RICO act on all your ass.
You know what? Matter of fact, this Bible, right? Somebody get they have drunken in the cup of Babylon.
It's gonna be a heavily RICO act.
Kind of, somebody get that and hold it up to right after whatever we're reading right now, because that's your complicitness is part of your wickedness and your guiltiness.
Okay. Yeah, because you got videos coming out daily now with these Edomite women that's going in on their men defending Jake. No, but where was that at when they was hanging us and shit? Right. All right. Now that you see that they going down, you know what's next. You know.
Trying to get you
put one back up.
Go ahead, brother.
Furthermore, to tell you for the first 1910, what nation have not had part in her kingdom?
That's right.
Got us forth. So they all have part. Having us in slavery at some point in time period, man. So the Lord gonna make you all pay.
Yeah, I just watched a damn cartoon that I should turn me on to, where the dude was using a damn Hebrew talent in the Paleo Hebrew to defeat demons and monsters and shit.
Oh yeah.
All right. I still got I took a screenshot of it and I'm gonna break it down with his. You know, matter of fact, I sent it
just like the money. When he went to all his idols, then he came across the Hebrew and
But even the girl said it. This is Hebrew. This is from this is from an ancient time. This is ancient Hebrew. Yeah.
I got a quick one to back what the Malcolm Manor Rala said. It's one that second ages too, Ariana. This is Isaiah 60, and man, I'm gonna start up. Man. All right, I just start the point. I'm gonna start out the spirit. Let me start the point. This is Isaiah 60 and 5. This is Isaiah 60 and 4. Lift up thy eyes round about and see all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, and thy daughter shall be nursed by thy side. And this is talking about us being saved, right? Which we are called Gentiles above this. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged, being amazed, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
That's right.
The multitude of camels is going to tell you what the forces are, which is the resources of these lands. Right. Even so, slavery, we already established they're going to be in slavery. But after they're going to get their lands back. And we still going to get our cut off the top. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. And Yahweh Shai and his sons are going to get our cut off top. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all day from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense. They shall show forth the praises of Yahweh. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance of my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Real quick, well, you Baruch the 5th chapter. All right, Israel is the Lord's glory. Whose are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves up to their windows? Surely the owls shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them. Exodus 4:22, the sons of somebody Israel. Unto the name of the Lord thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up their walls, that's the slavery, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So the Lord put us in your hands, but he's going to give us great mercy, and he's going into that, which is us ruling over the heathens. You're going to be in slavery, and that's giving you your resources, man.
And your king. And the king, because it mentioned the king.
Hey, it's good. Right? Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually; they shall not be shut day nor night. That men may bring us into the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation.
That's like it's gonna be hits out on them, man. Cause that's who the ones we want, man.
The spiritual hits on them anyway.
You know, hey, let's say scripture say that the king shall be thy nursing fathers and their queens.
That's the same thing, right here.
Yeah.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. See, what you guys have in your minds about the Bible simply is not right. When you think of salvation and heaven and hell, all that, it's just bugged out. So you can't understand what's really happening. See, when the destruction comes, all right, you're going to get your judgment. But just like we got our judgment. And it was rough and it was harsh. It lasted a long ass time.
Long time.
Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, Rome.
Look at
The
the
niggas
condition.
moving over each other and fucking us up in the dark ages. They're Rome 2.0, aka now. All right?
Look at the state of our women.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ratchet.
Right?
Ratchet.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want our women. The heathen don't want our women.
Huh.
No, but
And they rule over us and make our lives horrible, man. Like the dude that said that one girl that put up that apology, and then the brother came back with the matter of fact, we gotta play it. Let me send it to you.
Con. While he's getting that, finish this. Finish make this point. And that's the definition of hell. All right. When you read Deuteronomy, the Lord said, we kindle this anger, it's going to burn to the deepest hell. Then the Lord describes that deepest hell. And he goes through the curses, Deuteronomy 28, essentially, and it ends with thermonuclear destruction. So when it's your turn to go to hell, all right, to lose your heaven, if this is your heaven, Edom, Isaiah 34, this is your heaven. The Lord's sword is going to be bathed in it, man. It's going to come down upon you.
That's right.
Then you heathens will go into hell. And that's Deuteronomy 30:7. You're going to go through the curses. That's hell. Heaven is rulership. Hell is
the lowest.
Is the destruction.
It's right. It's the lowest.
It's
the
going
lowest.
through
Yeah.
evil times. All right? And then you got salvation. Real quick, Matthias, you got that Second 9? Hold on. Hit the Second 9. Get straight to the point. Start this 7. Start at 7.
Second Exodus 9.
That's the point. That's the point.
The second Exodus 9:7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his work and by faith whereby ye do have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land.
Hold on. The salvation is what? Read that over.
And shall see my salvation in my land.
That's the salvation. Like the brother read earlier, Jeremiah 16. It's like the salvation was before out of Egypt was what? Getting into our land. When it talks about the judges delivering us in the book of Judges, it was what? The Lord set up leaders to fight for us, to get us out of the hands of the enemies, and we get back into our land and have our laws that govern us again. That's the salvation. This time around, Like the Lord said, you know, we receive all this hell in double, so we're going to receive essentially double the mercies. All right, like it says in Isaiah. So that comes with not only us getting saved, all right, and getting our land back, we're going to have His laws written in us, and we ain't going to be able to go off again. And you heathens will serve us perpetually, forever. All right, and we're going to get your goods, and we're going to be able to serve you. How about you shall properly? Like it says in Jeremiah 3, the Lord said, He said, how am I going to let y'all get a, He said, how am I going to make it so y'all can just keep this land? And he's like, look, I'm going to give you the new covenant. I'm put the law. I got to read that Jeremiah 3 real quick. But I'm passing it over to Ron. He boring. He rocking in that chair. Let me hurry up, man. Let me hurry up. That man ready. Hey, this Jeremiah 3. Bro, for real. This Jeremiah 3 and 18. 17. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of Yahweh, and all nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of Yahweh, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart. In those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. That's at Jeremiah 16. But I said, how shall I put thee among the children, and give thee a pleasant land, a goodly heritage of the host of nations? And I said, thou shalt call me my father, and shall not turn away from me. So the Lord asked, I'm going to give you this land so you can just keep it this time. You're like, look, this is how, man. I'm going to be your father. You won't never turn away from me again. You won't go off again. That's the salvation, man.
Con.
Okay,
And that has nothing to do with other people.
At all.
it's a definition. Real quick.
Look it up.
It's the definition of hell, right? The first definition completely goes off. But the second one, it says a state or place of great suffering and unbearable experience, right? Then it gives you different, what you call them, antonyms and whatever, one of them. They say a misery, right? This is one of them. Misery, hell on earth, a torment, a nightmare, an ordeal, a trauma, wretchedness. Then the last one is trials and tribulations, right? This is the definition of hell.
Wow.
Then the opposite of it, paradise.
Look,
Right, and ultimately, our inheritance is with paradise.
That's right.
See, we had no rest, in no inheritance in the place that was the hell, and that's what we as Israelites, the special chosen children, the particular people, all right, that the Bible is talking about. That's what we had to go through. That's why the Bible.
We're still in it.
Yep, that's why the Bible says, "To whom much is given, much is required." See, we're going to be given the inheritance of the rulership of the eternal kingdom. That's much. So much was required of us, all right, to get that. We had to be worthy of that. We had to go through the hell before we go through our heaven.
That's right. Absolutely. Go ahead, and then I want the scriptures that gave Copper to come out, brother. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 13. I'm started 29, read 29 to 30. But he said, nay, these while ye gather up the tares, ye rule also the wheat. See, we're the wheat, but we've been scattered among all them, so we gonna look like them, they gonna look like us. Okay?
With the brother, the man and his sons.
Exactly. But it's still about the seed. It said 30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather you together first the tares.
And could you hold that for a second? So you would have someone per se from ISUPK, or even someone from House of David would tell that if this young man was an adult, the youngest of that seed line right there, they tell him that he was a heathen.
that's right. They'll come up to the camp and say, "What's
He
this
walk
about?
up, yeah.
What's this about?" And they say, "Hey, this ain't for you. You a heathen. Beat it."
Yeah, that's what they would tell him. They would tell him to scram. But he the same sperm of his grandfather who's basically at his shoulder. Right? And you can even see he still got his grandfather's eyes. His son is a light-skinned brother, but he's got his father's facial features. And so the little blonde boy, he's got the nose and the eyes too. All right.
187, remember the dude came up? He said, well, what do you see here? Says some black men, a couple Mexicans, and one white guy.
Oh, God.
Said Azaki. And the way she replied, "Oh."
I know, right. Because he gets mad, man. I know, and I don't blame him for getting mad. But he's our token speckled bird. You know, but hey, but the spirit is,
Well,
you know, right, kind.
Will you finish with that?
No, I got to finish.
But he's been a helpful teaching aid too.
That's it. That's it. And we used it.
He represents the little boy.
That's it. And we used it yesterday with the Jake that came up to Yacht's camp for edification. But
Okay. This is verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. But gather the wheat into my barn.
So there you go, man. So you're gonna have a situation where young little blonde boys like that, all right, it's gonna get gathered into the barn. And you're gonna have a chocolate ass Jake trying to figure out why am I not getting gathered? Well, because you a 2/3 ass nigga.
Because they're tears that look like the two.
Right. So you're right, because it turns out that you the opposite of him. You
Right.
chocolate, but your lineage go back to people that look like him.
Yeah.
You know,
Right? So it's the reverse. You a chocolate because them black only Israelites never want to deal with that subject. They usually get real quiet when you present that. When you show the evidence of somebody who's dark, and then you look at their father, and it turns out they come from a seed line of a heathen, of an Edomite or another heathen, then they don't have nothing to say.
I got one more.
You used to like it. You remember the chocolatier that used to came down, who used to had the art book, whatever.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
the little weirdo dude.
Yeah, skinny as hell, little chocolate dude. And you would think that he was he looked black, but then when we talked to him, he had no sauce.
Even when he walked,
Exactly.
before he ever opened his mouth, I already knew it.
Exactly. And then he had
He just solidified it with his actions.
exactly. Then he went to go to the art institute. He had his sketchbook, and you can see it. I say, hey, let me see some of your sketches. He's like, now. Anytime you ask any Jake, let me see your sketch. They were like, okay, see now, this is the one I did back in 1973. This one right here, I did it when I was this my inspiration.
Well, actually, his sketchbook was full of gay shit.
It was a bullshit.
That's what it was.
Exactly.
It was really, that's why he didn't want to show it, because then he would have been put on blast.
Exactly.
That's why, because I walked into Dunkin' Donuts to get some coffee,
Lord have mercy.
and looked over his shoulder and saw it. So his book was full of gay shit.
That's
You
probably
know, he was designing dresses and skirts, you know, and all his drawings was a female clothing.
Effeminate.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump down in that
Perfect.
same thing, Matthew 13.
Popped off.
I'm gonna jump down to 38. Okay, because this we're talking about the tares and the wheat. So 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the
The
kingdom.
good seed.
The good,
All right, the good seed.
Plural.
Right. So that seed is Israel, the Israelites.
That's
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
It says they're the children of the kingdom. They're going to be the rulers in the kingdom. In the kingdom, you must have rulers. You must have people being ruled over, the subjects.
Right.
King gotta have subjects.
Right.
They got to. It
Well,
won't be a kingdom
You
without.
walking throughout your castle, standing on your ramparts, in your towers, but you ain't got no subjects.
Right.
You the king of nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
You the king of the deer and the wolves and the animal force. Right.
Right. Here it is, the Most High. He said, do all things decently and in order. All right. And so what he do is decently and in order. And he said that there's going to be a righteous, eternal world. He said, my kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
That's right.
So guess what? In heaven, there's order. So on earth, there's going to be order. Part of order is rank and file, from the least to the greatest.
And the law, statutes, and commandments that are in the Bible.
Yep. You're going to have some rulers. You're going to have people get ruled over.
And that's what's going on here in this kingdom.
That's what's going on here?
Yeah. So, but when we come out and them have to be slaves, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Let me finish this. The children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked.
That's right. And I remember telling Dr. Grossman that. She told me, well, we stole it fair and square. And I told her, keep that energy. I said, because we're going to take it back. Man. I told her, I said, okay. I said, she told me, she said, but we stole it fair and square.
And you're right.
And I said, you're right, Dr. Lisa.
Right, Manifest Destiny has a part 2.
Right.
That's right.
We gonna take it back. Fair and square.
Right. And the saints shall
Right.
take the most.
Oh yeah, I let her know.
Reverse.
I let her know. I said, yeah, we gonna take it back fair and square.
Did you finish that segment?
No. I still got some, and I still got the elders video. He still wants me to play it.
Go ahead and run it real quick before I get too far.
We all take our lick, then we'll be able to really heal.
Y'all ready for that lick? This is what it looked like. En masse. Take us all off of child support. En masse. Those of you all that have children, that of which whom has a father that is not abusive, go back to him and apologize for everything that you did wrong in detail. And then stop. Don't try to sidestep accountability. Don't try to tell him what he did wrong. Just apologize and then close your mouth. En masse. From now on, drag the women that drag black men, either in person or in media. En masse. Begin to dress modestly. En masse. Stop sleeping with multiple men. Find one and be faithful to him. En masse. Submit. En masse. Stop being insatiable, insufferable, and intolerable. En masse. Know your place. En masse. Stop thinking you are equal to men. En masse. Get rid of everything that is fake. En masse. Learn to stay in the house. And en masse, don't be obtuse. You know what I mean.
We all take our lick.
So she talking about taking her lick and how women need to basically they see ones like her, all right, they can see that this thing is deteriorating. And that was and part of the reason our women are like that, in the first place, Esau Edom, his wicked rule, and gave them this power. All right. But now, just like you got all these Edomite women all of a sudden coming against their men. Now they see, the ones who've been watching, they can see that, damn, man, you know what? A lot of stuff these guys are saying is, it's undeniable, man. If you actually watch and be honest with yourself. All right. But women like that, she made that long speech. If you saw her video about, how women need to apologize and not act this way and this, that, and the other, but the damage is done. You didn't already put the knife in too many men's back. They walking around with wounds, open wounds, man. So pulling the knife out, well, now he's just bleeding out. Go ahead, Smithy. You was about to say something, but something about your head.
I said it's related, but kind of related. That's why I wasn't gonna say it. But I said that Disney movie that's coming out with the women warriors and shit. So the Israelites,
The one I refuse to go see.
Well, I ended up looking that group of women up. Now, for one, there was only 1/3 of that army. But they was capturing us and selling us into slavery.
Yeah.
Those are Israelites, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of them are Israelites.
They were Israelites.
Levites.
Mm-hmm. And they were fucking us up, put us in slavery. Those women was getting raped. The historians going into it, they was to be there to fuck, but they was partaking in putting us in slavery. Some of their own people in slavery.
There it is, man.
So these women, it ain't just Edom. These women just against us, man. Just like when you read the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah tell them they weren't even following the laws. He say the Lord going to send y'all to slavery. They said the Lord ain't gonna do that. They said we worship the Queen of Heaven. We didn't lack anything. Let's get back to that. We baked the cakes to heaven. Our husbands was there. They talked shit to Jeremiah while their husband stood there and said nothing. You bitches out of order. And this fake humility they got, it's just because they see the power shift.
And then that's what dude was pointing out. Then he said, well, then in mass, y'all need to do this.
Right.
But I ain't seen no other videos.
It ain't gonna happen. The one bitch, she goes in this huge rant, we're wrong. We don't want to be independent. And she says, man, be humble. Right. Man, be humble and take us back. What, bitch? Just apologize.
Nobody wants your Jeremiah 3-in-1 self. You got it right. You got a whole nother vibration on you.
She never said sorry in the video either.
Right.
Instead of saying be humble, she should have said, we're sorry. Like, we don't have to humble down.
And you go to the comment section, all the comments are just men just, well, most of them, because there's some simps on there. Exactly. But most of them, what you mean, men be humble? You didn't even apologize. They were going in on her. Like, these bitches are toast, man.
So they
Isaiah 4:1 tells you how we're supposed to come humbly. We'll wear our own clothes. We get our own food and our own apparel. Just let us be called by that name.
Like that
That's
one.
humility.
that one very attractive
Keep
one
your own money.
who basically said she do everything for her man. You know, and she know her man, she study her man. And I'm like, damn,
But you should have watched
I'm
the
like-
whole
I'm
thing.
like,
That bitch out of order too.
Yeah, well, that's
She was
the only,
talking about
that's the only
doing that-
portion I saw.
Yeah, she was
But-
talking about doing that for a man that's balling and spending money on it. She said she could.
Oh, well, I didn't get all that
part.
part.
I went look,
But I was like,
I don't
damn.
like these bitches. So I knew it was something behind it.
There had to be
I went and
something else.
searched the whole. I went and found the video and watched
The whole thing.
Same thing went on with me.
Damn, so the hell with it.
I went and searched for the interview.
Brother said, nah, it's got to be more than this. Let me see. And upon investigation, that bitch was found suspect. All right, bring up those scriptures about the shop.
All right, I'm gonna start with the book of John, chapter 11. I'll start at 45. It says, then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. Then gathered the chief priests.
That would be the my UIC niggas when we were the ones that believed on Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
We're gonna make a 501c3 charter and call the Lord by another name and slander the men of the Lord daily. Go ahead. Tell me I'm lying.
That's all. That's like the priest.
This is all. It's all happening. The book of Acts is all over again right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
Book verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both.
And
our
that's
place.
what it is, man. Because the men of the Lord, we're out here teaching, giving the true knowledge and the real breakdowns of the Bible, what Yahweh Basham Shai is talking about. And then you got these agents of Esau that are wearing garments, matching garments, mostly, you know, or looking like Legion of Doom, looking like Demolition, the wrestling team, you know, with these false doctrines. And you notice all these fake guys always talking about Christ and Jesus, you know, and especially the motorcycle gang Israelites, the black man this, the black man that, Christ, you know.
Hey, what was his name? Dead Mike. I'm black, y'all.
I'm black and
I'm black.
We'll make them biggest, and we'll make them heads perfect agents, right? Because they know the truth. So when their congregation come up and say certain things, they know how to steer them away from it because they know
because they're
know
wicked.
the truth, and they're wicked as hell. That's why the General Gahana like he is.
No,
Nate like the way he is. They know the truth.
Yeah,
They
and
know
since
it.
you mentioned that shit that fucking Nate did coming against the apostles and men of the Lord, it was straight 100% slander. All right?
It was blasphemy.
We don't
play that. He didn't play the whole thing.
It doesn't matter. Even the clips that he played, he said, "Do we buy prostitutes? No. Ha. See, he's wicked. Next, go moving on to the next.
No scriptures, no
scriptures,
breakdowns, no nothing. They playing on emotions. You know,
The emotions of the westernized mindset.
That was excellent. And the
which
Most
is
High
a brainwashed
yes
society, brainwashed with nothing but lies, with pseudoscience and wine of lies. So go ahead and finish that.
Verse
Baba
49.
and load up that video. Baba Shah.
Still please.
Verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this he spake not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Wow. So am I right? And so it said nothing about the other people. I go right to the Acts 6:1. Baba
So that lets you know that the Jews were called his own nation, separate from the rest of the 12 tribes, because that was a divide right there, man. You know.
As a matter of fact, get it in those other versions.
Okay.
Somebody else get Acts 6:1 and Acts 9:29.
Quick one.
Somebody get Acts 9:29 and Acts 6:1 in the KJV. Go ahead, y'all.
Baruch chapter 5, verse 6. It says, "For they departed from thee on foot and were led away of their enemies. But God bringeth them unto thee exalted with glory as the children of the kingdom.
There you go. And if you're among your enemies, sometimes you're gonna come back looking like a little blonde boy.
Exactly.
All right, simple as that, man. Now, clearly, this brother here chose to to not deal with the nigga woman. That's why his son came out the way he did, and then his grandson came out the way he did. But they're still his seed, because your father's the seed of his father, and you are the seed of your father. That makes both of you the seed of his father. All right.
This part of curses put upon people. It's Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, to the other.
Your enemies.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the scripture said we're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of earth. So was being scattered amongst these other nations, Jacob's going to deal with the heathen women and have children by them. Those children going to come up looking like the heathen they raised amongst them.
Yeah. So did it say anything about them not being Israelites anymore?
Nope.
So so if you scattered among the race, hey, look, man, I spent some time in Thailand and I had a great time.
Here we go.
Right.
Right.
Okay. But if I never left Thailand, what would my sons look like today? And what would they would, and what would they sons? That's Japanese, bro. And what you should have said Sawadee Cup. Now if you were among now my sons, and what would my sons' children look like
third
today?
generation.
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
And then
but would they still not be Israelites?
A lot of them, though, Cambodians, Negrito descent. Negrito means small Negro. And the reason why they got light skin, they mixed with the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Edomites from France. And that's why you see them in the ghettos and shit in California gangbanging shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cambodians in Oakland that were gangbanging.
Yeah.
All right, I used to bounce in the Benjamin Club, and all the badass Cambodian chicks used to come up in the club with Benjamin.
Yeah, I know. And they get you bad.
It was bad. Yes, sir. All right, but
you want to read Acts 6:1 in the CSB version or the regular version?
I want somebody else to read the regular version, and you read the CSB. That CSV makes it clear. What we always been saying. But go ahead.
Acts 6:1, and in those days, this is the KJV. And in those days, when the number of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily administration.
There you go. So that will go vocab alone. Trying to include the heathen, the Grecians. But then that's the funny thing too. Why only the Greeks? Why didn't they say nothing about none of the other heathens, man? All right, when you start really thinking about it, but bring it in the CSP.
Why didn't they say that about Esau? Why didn't Esau give forgiveness? And he's our enemy. Why didn't they say anything about him? Because guess what? In Hebrews it tells you he found no place of repentance.
None. Zero. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever heard vocab mention or talk about that scripture. But he dug this well like that. Hey, I'm still 2 years later. I'm still waiting on the answer to those 7 questions. Go ahead, brother.
This is 2 and 3. Esau was put off, which means rejected.
Right.
Same way Cain was rejected.
This is Acts 6:1 in the CSB version. It says, in those days, as the disciples were increasing in number, there arose a complaint by the Hellenistic Jews against the Hebraic Jews.
You hear that? So that's basically what we've been saying all along, man.
Right.
Vocab cut, and all Christianism is through, man. Now let's do that with Acts 9 and 29 as well. First the KJV, then the CSB, and then we're gonna switch it up, and we're gonna get on these damn Edomites and these Edomite women. All right, who it is apparent what they're trying to do, and the comedian Bill Burr busts them out. All right, he basically said, look, now that y'all see they jumping on the bandwagon with this wokeism, and now they coming against white men and joining with black people. All right, and he married to a nigga woman. Ooh. I think Bill Burr might be a J. Kenny.
He Irish. The nigga has a sense of humor.
But go ahead, bro.
But this is Acts chapter 9, verse 29 in the KJV. And he spake boldly in the name of the Lord Yahushai and disputed against the Grecians, but they went about to slay him.
Right. Okay, let's see what it says in the CSB. I'm curious.
Acts 9 and 29. He conversed and debated with the Hellenistic Jews.
Come on, man.
But they tried to kill him.
Right. So the Hellenistic Jews were the Jews who basically they were the Greek-speaking Jews and the ones who adhered or were joined unto the Greek Israelites. Right. All right. Point blank. Period, man. So once again, it was still all about Israel. It had nothing to do with you other nations, man. All right. Go ahead. Jump. Come on off the top rope, brother. Give them the people's elbow.
Hellenistus. A Hellenist. Definition B. Used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek.
Hey, what was the purpose? Real quick. What was the purpose of the cloven tongues? Why did the Lord get them to break down to be able to speak into these other languages to reach the Israelites that spoke those other languages? The Hellenistic Jews.
Then we going back to Acts, how we started. Acts the 2nd chapter.
Right.
All right. Go ahead, brother. Bring it up.
There's a footnote for Hellenistic Jews, and it reads, that is Jews who had adopted the Greek language and culture. That's it.
So come on, man.
That's why we're talking for Gentiles.
And there was some video where I was watching a live with Elder Apostle Tahar, where vocab was mumbling and fumbling through Acts 6 and 1, trying to explain Hellenist and Hellenistic. But you can't go into that topic without cutting yourself.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, vocab, you need to just shut the fuck up until you answer them 7 questions, man. Stop avoiding. Bring it out, brother.
This is the book of Acts 13 and 26. It says, men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth Yahweh, to you is the word of this salvation sent. You know?
Hey, call it and read it again, brother. Bump the shot.
This is the New Testament. It's always been the same message, man. This is the book of Acts 13 and 26. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth Yahweh, to you is the word of this salvation sent.
Man, that was one of them cuts when the samurai up the sword, slashed the throat, and put it back in the sheath before they even hit the ground.
Right.
It's like, oh, right.
Right. Stop.
The roll call of the tribe.
I was gonna say that would be like Trump with Freezer.
Oh yeah, he cut it in.
Freezer.
Yeah, cutting his shit drop.
Right.
The roll.
Story, man. It ain't never changed.
I got something real quick.
Bring it out, brother.
In Galatians 3:16, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made.
Ooh.
And say of not and to seeds as of many, that as of one, to thy seed, which is Messiah. See, like people forget like simple English. All right, personal pronouns, man. All right, like it's always been an exclusive club, but not an inclusive club.
Yeah, it says seeds of one because Abraham had other seeds. He had several other sons, but the promise came through one son, and that was Isaac. And then Isaac had Jacob and Esau got moved out the way. He got the boot.
Right.
All right. He got shown the door, and it rested upon Jacob, and Jacob had 12 sons, and it rested upon them. It's so simple, man.
Revelation 7, it gives you 12,000 of each tribe. So you're saying that now the Lord could ultimately do this if he wanted, but he's only going to save 12,000 of each tribe and then a numeral multitude of everybody else? Man, y'all crazy. The Lord didn't even save all Israel. That's why Paul talked about it. He said, my desire is that the whole nation be saved. But that's not the will of the Lord.
It proved who the Greeks are. Who into that Greek shit today? Jake is the heaviest into that Greek shit. The different alpha kappas and the different fraternities, all that shit. But all of them
to the shame.
When you go into it, they all go back and they learn how to speak the Greek. All them different fraternities, they make them speak the Greek.
All their names because they have to be able to say their names in the Greek.
God.
So they do, to a certain extent, learn, a little bit of Greek. And then they can break it down exactly what it means too.
God, we'll show you who the fucking Greeks really were, man. And
so it was all about Jake, right?
And Jake come back and do the same fucking goofy dumbass shit Yeah.
And then they thought this shit was cool. But no, I want that video about the shot. Yeah, we gonna change it to vibration.
Complaining in my life from white women. My name is hard. With my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trashing white guys. The nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill of my bitches here, okay?
That dude a nigga, it's just confirmed.
Let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by as toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual.
They laughing at it.
Sit down next to me and take your talking
Right, because they know. They know that it's over, man. Like this little chick right here. I'm gonna send you another one, Ariana. This the little chick with the accent. It's talking about how I am a race trader. That little bitch.
I got a preset for how you getting that.
Bring it out, brother.
This is a rock 41 and 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall reproach for his sake. So they realize they know the shit was when they was doing it, you know. But now, like it says in the book of James, the devils believe in trouble, and they become a race trader. They jump the ship. It's just like our women did. But look, Edom, and I mean Edomites, okay? Edomite women, y'all getting put in the slavery too.
That's right.
All right? Y'all ain't getting no fucking special tags. And you gonna be on the plantation picking whatever fuck we got you picking. You're gonna be bed wenches. And when you done getting popped, you're going right back to the fucking field.
That's right, because I'm gonna be cold. Because look, there's some badass Edomites.
Oh yeah.
All right, there's some badass Edomites, and and they gonna be used for comfort and all that. But guess what? Like he said, as soon as you done, you think you gonna grow old and live in a big house? No. After the nuts have been spread, all right, you carry your ass right back to the field.
Imagine what our women. Imagine what our women gonna do to their women. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about this, brother. That's what Scripture says.
Oh, you his favorite too. Your red ass.
Yeah, I'll put that spirit on my women to do just like Sarah.
Yeah,
she beat her servant ass.
That's what I thought about.
I gave an analogy to one on before. They're gonna brush your hair. You're gonna say 100 strokes aside. They're gonna do 101, and you're gonna slap the bitch up.
Why'd you give me that extra stroke? I thought you smack.
Yeah, it says you will get no mercy, man. Isaiah 47 chapter. That includes you bitches, man. You Edomites ain't getting away with it.
Yeah, because they gonna know when you leaving the chambers, and they're gonna be waiting outside to rough you up.
Right.
Like, oh, so you was in there with the master? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Hey, Edomite women, they gonna rather dwell with a lion than in the woods than to deal with our women in the kingdom. That's gonna be doing all manner of shit today.
Yeah, because on the top of that, a lot of our women are gonna be angry. Just like a lot of our people are going to be angry that they went against the men of the Lord, that they went against their own people. They're going to feel that guilt and that anger, and they're going to take it out on you. But they, all these women who would die hard in the, leave your man, and I don't need no man, signing up all Esau's programs that destroyed the Jake families. They're going to be angry. They're going to feel guilty and angry, man. And they're going to take it out on y'all. And you mainstream bitches that took part of the Gloria Steinfeld or whatever her name is. Oh, it's gonna be hard. Yeah, you specific. There's certain specific white women that are like what's her name? Bill Clinton's wife, man. She signed a lot of legislation and did a lot of things that did a lot of damage to our people in the late 80s and 90s, man. They really did a lot of damaging shit. Man, these women going.
Hey, it's a logic. Can I? A reason I say that I had a vision a long time ago. I tell brother about a Rallas Funhouse. All right. Now the Lord showed me this, but it wasn't men getting fucked up. It was the women that was getting fucked up.
Wow.
All right. So when I went to sleep. The Lord was like, I want to show you something. So when I went to sleep, I woke up. It was night. And you know how you walk up to a fun house, like an old school, and you know, and they had the neon letters, and the neon letters was blinking. It said a Rallas Fun House, and it was yang, 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 yang. But you know, like in a horror movie,
right.
It wasn't like
I got the picture.
You know what I'm saying? It was like a horror movie, like yang, yang, and it was flickering. So you know, the angel I was with, it was because it was really a shadow that was showing me this shit. And he was like, come walk with me. I want to show you something. And he took me inside. And when we went upstairs, we walked upstairs, and it was a Edomite. All these was Edomites. It was an Edomite that was getting her feet done. She was getting pampered. All these bitches were getting pampered. It was an Edomite with like a glass, like snug on her stomach. It was like snug on her stomach. But on the other side, she had a robot doing her motherfucking. It was painting her nose, her toes, giving her with the pedicure. Giving her pedicure. It was one on the table, getting a massage. It was, you know, because I always say before I even had this video, I said, I'm gonna have robots. I ain't gonna be touching these dogs. I'm gonna have my robots do everything. Then I had this vision, you know, but the two was the bitch getting the motherfucking massage on the massager table by a robot, and the Edomite who was getting the pedicure. Now he looked at me and he said, watch this. Then the fucking robot that was doing the pedicure grabbed her by her legs and pulled her through the glass. He pulled her, but the glass was so strong, it ripped off all her skin that was on her, and he put his hands up, and his hands turned to the side, went down, and came back up, turned to the side, and blade said, and I heard them bitches cut on. And he just went to work on the bitch. He just shroom. So
the massage turned to something different.
No, the massage bitch got it. She got it far worse.
Damn.
So the bitch
what could be worse than spinning blades on you?
So the massage bitch, the robot that was giving the bitch the massage, he stood up and he stepped back, and the massage chick folded up on him and steamed the bitch.
Damn, that is
and then we walked to the edge of the building, and we jumped out the side. That motherfucker flew off. And that was the end.
That sounded like a Rallas Playhouse.
It was a Rallas Funhouse. That's what it was called.
And it was women, you know.
I hate all.
She says she don't hate herself. Go ahead.
Other white people, and I say it again because some are slow. White people suffer from a cognitive affective group handicap called white ignorance. White people are not really civilized. It is white bombs that are falling on Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Mali, Palestine, Ukraine. It was uncivilized Europeans who killed almost the entire nation in North America and Australia. And not being able to reflect on this is below animality. And now Google, how to stop crying?
Stop right there. All right, so now you got all these woke white women that are attacking white men, just like Bill Burr was saying, man. All right, Job 27 and 15. And Isaiah 33 and 18.
This is Job 27 and 15. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep.
And his widows shall not weep, man. And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of videos all over YouTube and the internet with similar like hers. Her whole channel is dedicated to play the other one. Did I send you too? Her whole channel is dedicated to shaming and exposing white superiority, white hatred in their wicked history. She got a whole channel. That's all she does. Every video. And so the Edomites, I believe they gonna some of these Edomites gonna unalive this broad, man. All right, one of them incels One of the Medomites gonna unalive her because she's constantly putting them on blast, man.
British security guards massacred dozens of African migrants this week. Their president said they did a good job. This guy might not even be aware that they committed crimes against humanity since white people had in trouble seeing black people as human. Spanish security guards massacred dozens of African migrants this week. Their president said they did a good job. This guy.
The president said they did a good job, man. And they how they're massacring. You know, your brother seen that that image of the eagle on its way to the Congo to save the people.
Yeah.
I mean Uganda
Yes.
from all this terrorism.
Yeah.
That shit funny as hell, man. But you're right. Go ahead, bring it out, brother. Because all of a sudden, you know, they want to bring that image up, Baba Kushab. Because all of a sudden, you know, there's a lot of death going on in Africa, in the Congo and Uganda. And it's funny because you got what the Koban, I believe it's called, that's found. I sent it directly to you. That's found that's found in the Congo, and then you got all that gold that was found in Uganda, and all of a sudden there's a whole, and they're not really covering it on the regular news. And she talked about it. She said the president said they're doing a good job because there's a lot of Hamites and Jake, all right, because there's a lot of Jakes in that part of Africa, man. They over there getting massacred by these Edomites, and the news media really isn't even covering. And one of the main people talking about it is white women. There's a lot of different channels where they're bringing it out. What's happening over there? You know why? Because Russia checkmated America basically in the West by making, with this whole oil and power for gold now. Everything that they buy that you buy in Europe to get you got to buy in gold now. All right, and so as a result of that, they're trying to go get that gold from these Africans. Esau done fucked himself. He went sanctioned, you put all these sanctions and basically built them up. Because if you listen to American media, the Russians over there struggling, but that's not what's coming. That's not what's coming from other sources, and it's obvious because they're not panicking. They're not running out of food stuff over there in Russia. That's an American and West thing. Right. That's happening in the West and in America. All right. So it all backfired. That's why Sri Lanka, what's going on in Sri Lanka, eventually is going to come here to America. It's going to happen soon, man. I sent it directly to you, brother.
Okay. I'm pulling up.
But it's just funny because it's like an eagle that's on the ground, and you'll see the image, man. And it says, yeah, it was in the orders room. And and it says, I gotta go over here and save these Ugandans from all this terrorism now.
Right. I'm looking at it.
That shit hilarious,
right,
man.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm on my way.
right. Or Mighty Mouse, here I come to save the day. Right, yeah. When you the damn problem.
Right.
You know what the scriptures say that when he to be the first one there.
Right.
He the one that caused the shit.
He's already around in the area.
Right. That shit was hilarious.
There it is. That was it.
Give me a second. Let me say for they to see.
Brother, you having a hard time, DJ?
No, we there. I take it off this chair to go. I don't want personal information and stuff. You said what?
Right. Uganda discovers gold deposits worth 12 trillion. It was more than 12 trillion. So it was way more than that. So, wow. Even though 12 trillion is a ridiculous amount of money, regardless.
But they willing to report that.
But
you said,
right, need some diamonds.
Right. But the eagle says he's on his way to save the Uganda from all this terrorism. Oh, I gotta go save it. So he gonna go save, and same thing. He went to Iraq and saved all them people from all that terrorism over there. Killed Saddam Hussein, and I think 60 tons of gold just disappeared.
They kind of touch on that in that movie Three Kings. You know, they tried to blame just 3 individual soldiers. That's what they did. The damn army stole that shit, man.
God,
The movie with Ice Cube.
they were trying to deflect.
It is like
Hey, look, hey, now no, that shit happened for real because one of the guys used to train with me. His brother was one of the officers who got caught up in that shit. His brother got kicked out the Marine Corps and also went to the brig behind that shit. But you know, it's funny. As long as he was still in it for the uppers, it was good. When he tried to take something for himself, you know.
Oh, you
took
fucking,
one brick?
You fucking turncoat. It was all of mine.
Which goes to show you how crooked this man is, because that's not the way it was in the ancient world. The soldiers shared in the spoils, man.
That's right.
Like, how you not look out for the men that took the shit from you?
Exactly.
How you don't break bread, nigga? Like,
Because eventually you got an army that might turn on you and take your shit.
Your whole military.
You know?
That's like what Saddam Hussein, when they fucking killed him and hung him. This man had pallets of gold and pallets of money, cash. All that shit disappeared. Where it went? Esau took that shit. Ah, shit. That shit's funny. That's some wicked ass shit.
Well, this is what we're living in. See, the Most High rights to wrongs. This is what it's going to be.
Esau clicked the channel twice.
You talking about on your stream?
He hit the live twice. I got to load it back up. I had to turn
Yeah,
it
he
on.
goes by the yeah, he was his, you know, his
algorithms.
His pussy was hurting.
Guess what? It's on 15 other channels right now.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
This is the precept we called for
Go
earlier.
ahead, brother.
Going back to Rala Farmhouse. This Isaiah 33 and 18 said their hearts shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counts the tower?
That's right, man.
Hey, so the Lord gave me that idea.
So you know, the righteous mind is actually going to meditate terror unto the enemies. Lord said we have to give back unto them double. Revelation 18:6, man. All right, they have to get back. You know, say what you're gonna say, brother.
Say the Revelation 13. It says, "Here's the patience and faith of the saints." That's a comfort.
Yeah, man, no matter of fact, read.
Yep.
Then break it down.
Revelation 13. 13. What?
Somebody
Revelation 13 and 10.
Galatians 6 and 7 while he's reading that.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So for one, you getting put to death, Edom, and even all your other heathens, man. All right, violence and death is a big part of your judgment. It must happen. All right, Psalms 83 is prayed about. It's actually sung about. That's a song, so it must happen. It's in the prophecies. No, I just want to make this point. And also the slavery. All right, that must happen because it's written, man. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. You got to get these things, and it says what? It's the patience and faith of the saints, which means this is when we're going through hell. All right, and we just suffering. Part of our comfort is knowing that at some point in time, we're going to do unto you double what you've done unto us.
That's
we're
right.
Put chains on you. And we're going to have that two-edged sword in our hands, like it says in Psalms 149. We're going to do the same things to you that you've done to us, man. And that keeps us going. That keeps us enduring, man.
Yeah, you said
and
it.
that's
And I
part
was
of the
thinking.
gospel. We're literally, when you read Isaiah 61, if I'm not mistaken, it goes into the good news, all right, the good tidings, which is the definition of gospel, and it says to bring vengeance upon our enemies. So that's part of the gospel.
That's it. They say comfort all that more.
That's it. That's the comfort, man.
I had Baruch 4 and 29. It says, "For he that brought these plagues upon you, so Lord, one guy's in the situation to begin with, and for us going off, transgressing his law. So it says, shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. Take good heed, O Jerusalem," which is talking about the Israelites only, "for he that gave thee thy name, that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation." So you're going to pay for putting your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, man. That's right.
I got something.
Ass payments.
So like, who got that Galatians?
Gotta,
I got it right.
gotta pay with your ass.
Go ahead, get it.
It's Galatians 6:7. It says, "Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. For whoever so a man soweth, though he shall reap. For he that reap for his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the spirit shall the spirit reap everlasting." And that's what it is. Hey, Esau got a bound that he got to pay for, because he had robbed and raped the Israelites, the world, really, yeah, the world. So guess what? He's going to get that same judgment that he had gave to the world, man.
Turn by your own head.
Yeah.
This is something. This is I got a Sirach 26 and 28, and this is on the point that Elder Malcolm was saying about the soldier and this and another. As long as they were stealing for the higher up, they were good. But if they stole for themselves or got something for themselves, like you said, that used to be part of the thing that you're supposed to be able to split the spoils and whatnot with people that was with you. This is Sirach 26 and 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry: a man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord prepares such a one for the sword. Okay, but like you said, you keep your army in check, and that's how Rome lost its army, because as they kept using less and less silver in the money that they were paying the soldiers with, it went down. The whole military went down. Everybody was trying to pocket for themselves, and nobody was trying to share the wealth. And that's what the Edomites now, the 1%ers do. And now even the Edomites, your six pack is like, damn, where I cut? Your cut was your skin. You supposed to got yours while it was still profitable, because you better get yours. You didn't get yours why they would have to pay 31 and 20, 30, 28, 31, 36% on the motherfucking auto loan, and you was getting the shit for 2.5. You didn't get yours in the middle of that?
Because a lot of people used to come out of high school back in the day to go to the military, because it would be good money or benefits for it. And now don't nobody want to go to the military.
They actually having a very hard time
recruiting on.
They let get recruiting. That's how you know that, especially at this time. And there's been a lot of deaths due to, because a lot of people in the military, did the whatchamacallit, and the jump shot. So I think it was 30,000 or something like that, injuries and deaths or something like that. It's all coming out now. So the U.S. military is in a bad way, man. And so the draft is going to come, and so fine. And now all you women about to get your equal lefts and rights. Yep. So it's too late for all the apologizing. It's too late to apologize. Too late, man.
I think D-Match or somebody put it in there. You don't even need a diploma now for the military.
Yes, that too. So they just took that away. So the standards are really, really low. So you're gonna get a lot of degenerates, a lot of druggies, and a lot of people that can't follow. It's getting ready to be military accidents, people dying left and right. You're gonna be in more danger of your own soldiers than you are from the enemy. So
that's gonna be funny. Trainers gonna be talking about, can't you read? I ain't got no diploma.
Hey, what's crazy is the shit. A lot of it's already segregation in the military. I ain't gonna say the brother,
always been.
I ain't gonna say the brother name, but the brother told me about stories of black soldiers shooting at the white soldiers trying to kill them in the field. Like they out chasing them down, and they shooting at the fucking.
That ain't nothing new. Look.
That was happening all in Vietnam.
I was going to say,
you ain't saying nothing new, brother.
I ain't even know.
Edom is fucking with the niggas in the barracks and shit. They finally got up there. Niggas is like, they were plotting. They're like, I can get my revenge now.
That's it. Like I said, a lot of the butter shop, a lot of the butter bars, which is like them fucking Jeep lieutenants and whatnot in Vietnam. They trying to figure out why the hole in the back of their head is smaller than the hole in the front. Motherfucking hole is smaller in the back. This whole cranium in the front is blew out. That motherfucker pop. Man, I've been out here for 2 tours, 3 years. You gonna come out here trying to do this motherfucking rah, system, fucking tactics. Man, fuck you and the bullshit you on. Put his ass in the motherfucking ground.
They called it fragging.
That's right.
In Vietnam, they called it fragging. When somebody got out of line, they got fragged. All right, if they got some new butterball lieutenant, and in the old schools that were there who had survived many battles and excursions, and some new guy came in doing some dumb shit, and the platoon sergeant's like, "You're not about to get my man killed," and so the first engagement with the enemy, somebody would frag his ass, and then they collect his dog tags, and then he get a funeral and all that shit. He's a hero, but the truth of the matter is that his own unit got rid of him, and that went as far as racial shit and other shit too. So it went on. All right, because right, you're in the middle of a fucking war. So if the dude who been making your life miserable the whole time, y'all in the middle of a firefight, and you behind him, and you just keep shooting at the enemy. Oh shit, he went down. Medic! Medic!
Hey, seriously, y'all think about what the elder said. And you think about the job and the motherfuckers that you didn't like, and this, that, and the other, especially if he's another nation where it ain't like he ain't an Israelite. He's a motherfucking heathen for real. Oh yeah. I can't wait for us to get back in the field next round. Boy, I got you. Yeah. Hey, what Bill Duke saying, Predator, I'm gonna have you some fun.
God, brother. Any last scriptures here to wrap it up?
Can we get that Sirach, that the man that sees the fall of his enemy? Because God can't help but
25:7.
God.
That's a perfect scripture. Perfect scripture to close it out with, because that's what we see, man. We got these people here or whatnot. They want to try to stereotype or put in the parameters and put your White House shot in a box and say the people gonna look like this and be that, this, that, and other. You ain't got no box. It's about that bloodline, man.
Now this is Sirach 25 verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that had joy of his children, and like Yaakov brings out the Esdras. We can't have that here. So that part won't be till we have the kingdom, till we have the plenteousness, we have the place of rest, the place of abundance.
That was
all right?
the person, man. You're not going to enjoy the truth.
That's right. It says, a man that has joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
And we seeing that. We get a chance to live through it and see it. We watching the man, woman turn on them. We watching them not even want to talk about their own history. They want to call it a theory now, and don't want to face it.
All of a sudden, documented history is theory. And so, but they're gonna pay for all that they've done, man. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Ball.
Turn the machine back on.
Let me know when Jesus gets off like
sales.
I'm